Warning: this video contains descriptions of disturbing and potentially triggering events. If you are not in a healthy place where you can handle this, please click off of this video and watch something nicer instead. So in my previous video, I talked about my year of turmoil through the abuse that I was subjected to, and then the anger that I lashed out at others with. And I want to continue the story with the next several years where I dealt with the backlash of that. Following getting in trouble for my lapses in judgment and my relentless lashing out at others because I was hurting, I thoroughly and wholeheartedly regretted everything that I'd ever done in regards to that, and started my way down a self-destructive path. I'm not going to give you like the nitty-gritty of it. In fact, I'm going to try and avoid the YouTube censors altogether if I can. But over the next several years, I had a self-destructive mindset that led me down the road of overindulgence in food to the point to where I became morbidly obese. In fact, I am still currently in the obesity range just because I'm still plus. I think 250 is like the limit for my size. I don't know. On the obese, I don't know. But beyond that, I also became a slice and dicer with myself, as well as on several occasions trying to commit not alive, trying to commit the ultimate sin that on several occasions I almost succeeded with because, well, there were a few times I tried with methods that weren't as easy to fail with. I went through a period of about 6 years of just total anguish because of this. Because of what had happened to me, because of what I'd done in response to that, because of what I'd seen and witnessed. Not to mention that school was just hell for me. I ended up being shipped off to a rehabilitation center when I was 16 because I wasn't progressing through treatment fast enough for the authorities, because it wasn't really my choice to be in therapy anyway. It was mandatory because I was on probation. But I ended up getting thrown into rehab for a year and a half. I got out shortly after my 18th birthday. I still wasn't out of the thumb of the law, and still wasn't out of the thumb of the school system. And so, even after getting out, which that year and a half killed me, I could have probably been out in a year, because the program is only supposed to take about a year to get through. But I found a way about halfway through to throw myself all the way back to the beginning. Throw myself all the way back to square one just because I got frustrated and angry and depressed and desperate for a way out because I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't even want to be on Earth anymore at that point. It got so bad that I really didn't care. I would entertain the notion of just stepping out into traffic at some points just because I didn't care. Which, you know, if you start entertaining thoughts like that, you really should see a therapist, because those kinds of thought processes are not natural, nor are they healthy. They really aren't. But I really became just so mired in that deep, deep depressive and dark state that I couldn't find a way out. It wasn't that I didn't want out. I wanted out. I wanted to get out. I wanted to not feel like I was. The only problem was I had the wrong approach to it. Instead of trying to find people to help, I just wanted to escape. I just wanted to quit. I wanted to rage quit in the worst way, and it wasn't even me that was encouraging those thoughts. It was, someone beyond me. It was the devil, of course, at least in my religion and my own faith's opinion. But thankfully, about a year after I got released from rehab and graduated from school, I found a church. Now, of course, I'd been part of the church growing up somewhat, although I bounced between the Latter-day Saints and the witnesses, so I didn't exactly have a very good example to go off of as far as what the church should be. And so I was about 18 and a half, almost 19, and my friend, let's call him Mark, he took me to church. And it was on I think it was on Easter Sunday that year. And I watched a sermon by a guy by the name of Kevin. He was this short guy. He was older. He was really, really passionate. He gave a sermon that made me bawl. And I just knew at that point. I'm like, there is no way that I could be sitting here today, listening to a sermon and feeling like I finally found someone that understands me and that wants me for who I am. Because at that point, I'd given up on finding someone that would accept me. I'd had so many of my peers and so many of my friends just say, I'm done with you. I mean, granted, I have a few that I still talk to on occasion, but, even they've got their own lives now. But I finally found God, and I'm like, I'm never going to give this up. And up until now, I haven't. And up until about a few years ago, my life just went on as normal. I got on a disability because I found through the local vocational rehabilitation center that I couldn't actually work a real job. My body wouldn't really be able to adapt to it. So in about 2012, I finally got on disability, which allowed me to afford to have a place to live and have food to eat and stuff. And so for the next about 4 years, I lived as I was. And then that's when things got really interesting, because I discovered a website that would completely change the way that I saw myself, saw what I could do, and saw everything else around me. And I'll be talking about that in the next part. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I'll see you again soon. Until then, take care. And I'll be back when day is new, and I'll have more stories for you. And you'll have things that you'll want to talk about. I will too, because it's you I like. Thanks for watching.